Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine Brand is here.
Yes.
And Victoria Monét is here. I'm so excited. Well, first of all, we have something for you.
Yes, we do. Of course we do.
We got some Dom P. Because we want to celebrate a sold-out tour in 1 minute. Also, all the success that you've been having.
Angela, she reacted just how you thought she would. Angela, and this morning, Angela was like, she's gonna love this.
I know. All right, so we're gonna pop some Dom P.
Yeah, let's can we
Dan, you're gonna
Dan,
do
you're
it.
gonna
Okay.
do the honors?
Yeah, you know.
Dan the man.
No, but just honestly, it's been almost 10 years since your first album. For real, 2014, right, was the first album.
You know what? I had forgot what year it was. Like I feel like the years kind of meshed together at this point, but good to know. It was 2014.
Thanks for telling me. Does it feel like a blur? Does it feel like?
Yes. Yeah, I feel like since 2010, like things are just, I couldn't tell you what year certain things were. I do know that you've been supportive from the beginning, though. I feel like the year was 2011 or 12, actually.
And then the album came out.
Yes.
But honestly, here's the thing about Victoria Monét. Everybody's always known how talented she is. But then I think, like, even for you, and I love the confidence on a song like On My Mama. Sometimes you just have to figure out, like, okay, you listen to so many different people telling you how you should sound or, you know, what you should come out like. And then it takes a little while to, like, figure out for yourself.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely went through just writing for other people and people hearing the different types of styles that I could do.
Right.
It's hard for people to understand it was hard for people to understand my vision for myself, because I'd be demoing like a country song at one point and sometimes like a pop song. So they're like, well, you sang it, you're demoing it, so why don't you just do that? And I'm like, but I have such a specific vision and narrative for what I want to do. Yes,
spill the champagne, Angela.
Not a little champagne.
Champagne is meant to be spilled a little bit, you know.
You know what? But sorry, we don't have real glasses.
It's okay. I prefer
what it is. You know,
no
it's
dishes.
a new show still.
There you go.
Thank
But
you.
we do want to toast to you because honestly, like, I've been such a fan of yours for so long, so I am really excited just for everything the way that it's been happening for you. I feel like the timing is perfect.
Thank you so much. Shall we cheers?
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
I love this.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right. Good. This is how we get it started. No, but I mean, let's get into it though, because
A little
you're doing your
ASMR.
first headlining tour, and that's what we
Yes.
really are toasting to. And it sold out in like a minute, for real.
That's
like,
crazy.
how did you feel
Really.
when that happened? And did you know that was going to happen?
I did not know that was going to happen. I thought maybe by the time I got on stage the first show, the shows would be sold out. But so what we did was every show went on sale locally at 10 a.m. So as they were selling out, my manager was calling me from so it's like Atlanta show all the way to the West Coast. Like, okay, this sold out, the tickets are gone. And it was just surreal. But very affirming to know that people really, if you give them the opportunity, they'll support you. Because I see on Twitter, people are always like, you're underrated. And it's like different when people are just tweeting and talking.
Right.
Versus when they actually show up for you and like, you know.
And I think that even just everything you've done before this, because, obviously I've been following your career for a long time. And I've been seeing, and here's a fun fact that people may not know. At one point, T.I. tried to sign her. And I remember that. He wanted to like put her underneath his label.
Yeah.
You know. And
Can you tell us about that? Because I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was, I used to be signed to Atlantic Records, and I feel like maybe that's how we connected.
Yeah, that's how we
originally.
connected.
And I was doing a lot of demos, like hook demos, because I had looked at Bruno Mars and B.O.B. and how that song did so well, and then Bruno was able to take that record and make his own career. So I was like, I'm gonna just spend a bunch of time just doing hooks. So I was just writing hooks only. I would just not waste any time with the verse, just hooks. And Atlantic had a lot of rappers.
Okay.
And so I was submitting a bunch of hooks, and I would try to sing them well enough that maybe some rappers will keep me on the hook. So this is what started like the hook era for me. So I ended up being with Nas, on a song with Nas and T.I., and I wrote a song for Meek Mill and Mary J, just like a hook era for me, MGK as well. So T.I. and I were collaborating a lot with Tommy Brown at the time, and so he was kind of showing me the ropes. He let me do a couple of shows with him singing the hooks that I was a part of, and he offered to sign me. And I always felt like it just wasn't the right time for me to be signed to anybody. And I also thought of myself, like, if I'm going to be signed right now, I'd like to do it myself and like have my own little imprint or something.
Okay.
So I just wanted to just wait it out a little bit more. But
you have to be really confident to wait it out and know and be really sure of yourself.
Definitely. But there were some times where it was just really hard. But I just had a vision.
And you know what's interesting? You talk about the hook era, because then for some people feel like trying to do those big songs can also be detrimental later.
You think?
I've heard people say that, like when people have had a big song and it's had a big hook, and maybe they cross over into like the pop space, that it's hard to come back from that. You know, and I've seen other artists like struggle with that. Like, do I want to do this big song that's going to cross over into pop, or should I, you know, not do that right now because I haven't established who I am to people?
Yeah,
so.
I feel like, well, the way I look at it is like, if that's how you're meant to be seen, you know, is that your entryway to more people, then if it feels authentic to you, then do it. If you're doing it to just, you know, get it across and you're not truly into pop music and you don't intend to maintain that space, then maybe it would be difficult. But I feel like if it's authentic to you, and like you can't really deny what God has planned for you, like be like, no, just because you're trying to predict what might happen afterwards. I feel like if that's your way to success, then maybe that's your open door.
Right.
And I can't imagine that there weren't a lot of other artists who tried to reach out to you during that time. I mean, you did write for Dirty Money.
Yeah, that was my first placement ever.
What song was it?
I Hate That You Love Me.
Oh, I like that song.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Not that I'm surprised. But like, I actually like that song.
I like that one.
So that was your first placement.
First one ever.
That's a good first placement,
That is,
too.
yeah.
Crazy. And he like sent everyone who was a part of the album these like really cool varsity jackets. I was like, this is so cool.
But isn't that nice? A touch like that. Like we were just talking about Taylor Swift on tour, how she gave everybody bonuses after the tour. And
She did?
Yeah.
I'm trying to tour.
She done gave them truck drivers, because she had 50 production truck, $100,000 bonus each.
I know. But,
Wow.
but Angela, talk about how much she made on the tour.
Right? You're
Yeah.
like, it's
a few
there-
billion. No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the proportions make sense.
But honestly, think about that as your first placement, and then you get a jacket like that's.
Yeah.
And do you know where the jacket is still?
Yes, in my closet.
Yeah, see?
Yes.
That's an iconic thing. And one day your daughter is going to wear that jacket.
Of course she is.
Right, exactly. It's so cool.
Did you work directly with Diddy on that particular song? Or you
No.
just submitted it? Or what was that process like for that?
It was actually, he was working with Rodney a lot on the album. And so I actually got to work with LaShawn Daniels on the record. Rest in peace, LaShawn.
Rest in peace.
But it was like kind of like he was visiting Rodney's camp to get a collection of records, and that was one of the ones that he kept for the album. So I saw him in passing. We didn't get to work. I don't know that I would be able to, like, at that moment in my career, like stand in a room with Diddy and be confident enough to sing any idea that I had. So I'm glad that it was a little bit separate. But yeah.
Okay.
And then you also went on tour, and I feel like this is part of what made you such a great performer that you are today, because you're known for that too. I see people post clips all the time of your performances, but you've been on the road and opened for a lot of people too.
Yes.
And so who are some of the people that you worked with on the road?
Okay, my very first tour ever, I opened for Eric Bellinger.
Ooh.
We like him.
We've been hearing a lot of Eric Bellinger.
People
So
in the
talented.
industry love him.
He's so talented. I just saw this video of him just like freestyling and like based on a topic, and it's just he's rapper fast, like quick, and just so talented. So shout out to Eric Bellinger. I opened for him, I think it was like 7 shows, and then my next tour I opened for Fifth Harmony, and after that I opened for Ariana Grande.
I mean,
Wow.
come on, y'all.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Crazy.
people also know you, and they affiliate you with Ariana Grande because you've written, with her a lot, and obviously been on tour, and you guys are such good friends. How did y'all get so tight for real?
A lot. We spent a lot of time together. I think the first time I remember becoming close and having deeper conversations than just, in a song space was on a tour. The tour before I opened for her, I came to a show, I think it was in Pittsburgh, and she was like, she's just very friendly, and she's like, why don't you guys just come to the next show or just hop on the bus and stay? And so we just started talking more and just about other things outside of music, and we were like, yeah, I really loved it. Yeah, this is my girl. So it just grew and grew, and the more that we hung out, like the less times it would be just for music and more friendship stuff. And so I'm just so thankful to have a friend that has so much experience that I was just able to see a lot of up close and behind the scenes of how things work and just learn a lot too.
What's the biggest thing you learned, or those important thing you learned by working with her or being friends with her?
I think she has a really great ability to be a boss, but also just be kind. So I like that. Like, I don't know that I was able to see that before, because when you think of a boss, I think before I saw Ariana in her element was like, it's maybe catty or mean, or like you have to talk a certain way. Not that I could ever, I wouldn't. But just to see it in real time was really cool. Just for her to be able to be like, no, I don't like this, I don't want this. But it was like in a nice, sweet, angelic way.
But still firm.
Right.
Yeah, firm. And people respond, you know? So it was really cool.
And I think that's good, because there's a lot of trust that somebody like her, you know, she's a big superstar. And you can't just have anybody around you either, right? Because you want to make sure as we're writing these songs, I get to know who you are, what you're going through in your life, and you already know those things about her, but to also know people run to the press all the time, you know, about little things. And so even for yourself, you know, you have a lot going on in your personal life too. So it's good to have somebody that I trust you trust me, we can tell each other certain things and know it's not leaving this room.
Yeah, I mean, I think another thing I learned from her was just like, the people that she has, a lot of the people that she has around her are from her childhood too. So it's like she got the same friends in and out. Of course, there's new people because, you know, she's meeting so many people, but I think that's awesome just to have a foundation. I feel like I have that same thing brewing with my family and friends and just people that I'm with. I've known for a really long time.
And you're an only child, right?
Yeah, I was born an only child, but I've met my dad in my 20s, and I discovered that I have a sister. So I'm not an only child
Have
anymore.
you met her?
Yes.
Okay. How was that?
Beautiful. Really hard at first because it's new information. We're like, she was surprised, and it was just a whole thing.
I got a famous sister.
I be like, you know, y'all know my sister Victoria Monét, right?
You know what? Well, when we met, no one was checking, so it's kind of like we've grown together, and so she's super supportive, and it's a lovely sisterhood, even though she lives in Atlanta.
It's not too far. Do you feel like being only child influenced you in terms of your career at all?
Yeah.
How?
I think I was doing a lot of creating in my room, you know, just since I didn't have someone to just like talk to. I feel like maybe that's why I lean towards writing or like being creative, to have an outlet to let some of my feelings out, or maybe even some of my own tastes too, because maybe if my sister was into like punk rock, what if
You'd be
I
following behind her?
Yeah, I'd be listening to what she likes. So I kind of was able to just gravitate toward what I actually liked and then put it together and do my own thing because I had no one to follow.
How would you categorize what your music was like before it versus to how it transformed and morphed into what it is now?
You know, my music, the early albums or EPs are very like experimental.
I feel like it was very theatrical sounding.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like just trying to find my way and experiment with things. I wasn't really afraid because I didn't have anything to lose. So I kind of think that the music was a bit more genreless than it is now. But just growing up and just really honing in on what it is that I actually love about music and what sounds and instruments that I want to use, who are my favorite producers, and just keeping that tight and just keeping the sonic more similar than I was before had been really helpful to just develop and hone in on what my sound is.
And you also went to a performing arts school, right?
Yes, I begged my mom to go. We didn't live in the district. She bought property like she bought property 5 acres of property. So we lived on like a little modular home, but on this big land, but it was far away from my school. So I had to beg my mom to use someone else's address in order to go to my performing arts school.
She could have went to jail for you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? She was down. She rode for me. So yes, I got to go to Sheldon High
paid
School.
off.
Yeah, it did work. Everything worked out.
It did, you know, but also, I gotta say, my mom, I went to a performing arts school, but she made me play golf my freshman year. she thought I could get a scholarship because I was black and nobody was playing golf. I was like,
gosh.
so freshman year, I was like there holding a golf bag.
So
People were like, look at Tiger Woods' sister. I was like, Mom, please let me just dance.
I don't
I
wanna
just
do this.
literally.
She was listen.
She
that
was thinking.
Yeah, that was very tactical of her.
Yes.
It's funny because Eric Bellinger was on the golf team in school.
Was he?
Yeah, he talked about that when we spoke to him. He
Oh,
said
wow.
he's like a great, amazing golf player, and everybody's into golf now.
It's a thing.
Can
Yeah.
you still play? Did you continue, or you were done?
I
after?
did not continue, but I like to pretend. Like if anyone wants to go to Top Golf, I'm like, I know how to hold it.
Yeah, I know. I played in
Yeah.
performing arts school.
Right.
Yes, I know played golf and performing arts school.
Now,
That's
what are
so
some
funny.
things that you feel like performing arts school helped you with? A lot of people would be like, oh, when I went to school, it didn't really do anything for what I was doing later on in life. But for you, I can imagine that because you went to a performing arts school and you knew what you wanted to do, that you were
Yeah.
able to really be focused.
It was actually the best time for me. I had a dance teacher that was really spiritual, so we were already like meditating and doing
nice.
yoga, like just zenning out. And then I learned a lot about the stage, so it's like downstage, stage left, backstage, and like the wings of a show and lighting and different ideas about the production of a show, because we had to do a show each year, and senior year my project was to put on my own show. And then
That's artist development right there.
literally it's
I'd
like
have been
if I
scared
think
to
about
death.
it was pretty scary, but it was like the payoff was really cool. I also met that's how I ended up dancing with Jabberwockies, because one of the Jabberwockies would come to Sheldon High School to teach like the students, and so I ended up really connecting with that style of dance.
This is
and then
crazy. Your
so
whole
many things
story.
happen, and like I ended up
makes
being a
sense now,
dance
though, right?
teacher,
Yeah.
like all the things.
What was your
So-
project? Like, what did you end up doing for your project?
My senior project.
Yeah.
It was called 916 with it, and it was a show.
916 with it.
916 with it, and it was a show. This whole show where all of these dancers from Sacramento, like there's a studio downtown called Step One, and we just put on a whole show where all different groups of them would come and perform. It was just basically like the end of the year show, and I used it as my senior project.
That is
916
so
with
dope.
916
with it.
But it makes sense how you are an overall performer when you look at
Your
where you
whole
went to high
life is
school.
like you were honed. You
Yeah.
were being-
Yes. I feel like
in
it kind of
development.
happened in sections, because like the first part of my life I really was like in the dance development. So like that class of training, and then when I got to LA, artistry happened, but then I kind of derailed to songwriting. So I was in songwriting camp, and now I'm like in artist full on artist camp.
And shout out to Sacramento. We were telling you, Kevin
Yes.
Johnson, who used to be the mayor there, who played in the NBA, we're
Yes.
actually going to his opening for his restaurant, Fixins, in Detroit.
It's so crazy. There's one in Sacramento too. Shout out to St. Paul Baptist Church. He went to my church.
St. Paul Baptist Church.
Yes, it's really cool just to see the things that people from Sac are doing.
My friend,
Keith
one of my close
Powers.
girlfriends, Nina Parker, is from Sacramento.
Oh,
She's a
okay.
TV personality. She also has a clothing line. She was on TMZ and E and all that kind of stuff.
Bosses.
She reps Sacramento hard.
I love. Well, you know what? We have to, because there's really not like that many people. It's not like a thick community of
Right.
people who stayed in LA and like found success. It's so close to LA that I feel like often it's very easy to be like, I'm out. I'm
Right.
going back to Sacramento. So shout out to her. That's really awesome. And Keith Powers and just so many
I didn't
people.
know Keith Powers was from Sacramento.
From Sac.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and Jazz is
Same
from
high
Omaha.
school.
She's from Omaha.
There's no connection to
No, but I
Sacramento.
was going to say, we were just talking about it's nice when you can rep your city.
Yeah.
Yes.
Small place, yeah.
Yes.
And then
yes,
people
it
there are
feels
probably like,
good.
Victoria Monét from Sacramento.
Yeah, literally.
Like all the famous people from Sacramento, you get to name.
You know
Right
what
there.
song
Yeah.
of yours is one of my favorite songs that I feel is
What?
so inspirational?
What?
And I feel like it sums up like everything you have going on moment.
Oh, yes.
You know, that is my song, but this
Thank
feels
you.
like it's your motherfucking moment.
Hey, thank
Tell me about
you.
writing that song and what space you were in when you wrote that, because I feel like that is such an amazing, like really inspirational, uplifting, confident song.
Yes. Well, I was high.
Well, let's start
I
there.
was
Uplifting.
high. I smoked a little weed. And I was in the studio with D-Mile and another producer named Tem Subi. And Tem had just played this sample, a little bit of what you hear in the beginning. And I just zoned out. It just felt like the right things to say. And I feel like I had never used my voice that way in that tone as well. So I feel like it unlocked another aspect of Victoria. The video was really, really awesome to film. We went to South Africa to film that. It was a 3-day shoot. crazy. Really, really awesome.
And you work with D-Mal a lot, right? So-
Yes, he's my favorite. Really hard to book at this time producer, but yeah, he's the best.
And for you, what would you say, what song that you've done so far is most representative of, if you had to say this is a song that is totally like explains who I am and what I got going on? Would it be On My Mama or something else?
You know what? I feel like On My Mama could be. I guess it has the sonics that I love. It combines like 808 with all the horns instrumentation that I love to use, but also like fun and like confident and like double entendres. So I guess it does encompass a lot of what I enjoy.
Or maybe Smoke.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
actually.
She's like, hey, actually, yeah, truly, yes, I would agree. Smoke is another good one. Yeah, most of my favorite songs are really D-Mal production. He produced that as well.
And I also remember you had done an interview a while ago where you said that you couldn't wait to have a kid. You were like, however it happens.
Was
you
this
know.
Genius? It might have been
I can't even remember what interview, but I remember you saying like, I just want to have a kid. Like it was on your vision board.
Sure did. I sure did that.
So when you found out you were pregnant, what was that like? Because that was something you wanted.
Really crazy, because it was unexpected. But the first thing I started feeling was my breast. I was like, something feels
Tender.
new and different.
Yeah.
So I decided to take a test.
Oh, so your breast indicated that.
My breast
maybe
told
something was
me
different.
first.
That's funny.
And when it first said positive, I was like, and like laughing. I was like, no. So I took another one, and it was in a pandemic. Yeah. So I was trying to find a nice way to tell my boyfriend because he had literally just asked me to be his girlfriend the day before.
Oh,
You
shoot.
were like, whoa, perfect timing.
Right. I was like, you must have felt something because you asked me the right time. So I wrote him a card that I just had in the house. You know, we couldn't go to the store at the time to get anything. So I was like, I'm just going to write in here. I was like, June 3rd, you made me your girlfriend. June 4th, I made you.
We didn't waste no time.
No,
Right.
literally one day apart. So, but it was really cool. I guess the really cool thing about being in the pandemic while pregnant is really just being able to sit down a little bit.
You didn't feel like you were missing anything. You're like, this is the perfect
everyone's
time.
in the house. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all in the house.
Yes.
So he asked you to be his girlfriend? How did that happen?
Yes, he.
cute.
So I don't remember what he wrote, but he wrote something on a mirror. I think he said. He was asking me something about what I'd like to be called.
Mm-hmm.
And then something like, would you like if I called you my girlfriend? And he wrote like a heart and then our
Oh my
initials
gosh.
That's
on a
sweet.
mirror. It was really, really cute and innocent.
That is so
Yeah.
sweet.
That is very
Because I feel
sweet.
like people don't ask that anymore.
I know people are like, we just go together.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Asked you.
Real bad.
Right.
Did your mom, did she always like him?
She met him pretty early on in our dating, and she liked him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was like, "You're cute." Yeah,
He's a keeper. How do you manage being busy and being a mom? How do you manage not feeling guilty, or do you feel guilty?
I
when-
sure do feel guilty. I feel guilty all the time. But I think my family reassures me that what I'm doing is it's for her. It's for the family. It's for the long run, for her future. So I try to snap out of that really quick. And I also try to bring her most places that I can so I can combine my work and family life. So I do plan to bring her on tour.
She's on the album, right?
She's on the album. She's on the
with
album.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Right?
Yes. Yeah, she's on there with Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's really full circle.
She told me that's one of her favorite groups of all time.
She's going to be like, ew. I think she's going to care a little bit later now. She
Yeah,
has no idea.
she don't care now.
She actually, when she hears her part, her ears perk up. So, yeah, since actually the part that she's on the song was from when she was 4 months old. And it was the first time I heard her laugh. So she knows that it's her.
That is
to this
so
day.
amazing.
It's really sweet. Yeah.
To be able to really just make that like, it's a monumental thing, and she'll have that later in life to be like, look at me, this is my first.
Yes, and she gets the royalties because I gave her publishing. So we're being paid out here. Yes.
Now, Jaguar 2, the album comes out this month, right?
Yes, August 25th.
Ooh, how
It's
you
out in
feeling?
the world. It's August now, so I'm just like, whew, we've made it. The countdown has begun. I'm gonna be doing a lot of this.
Good.
When
We
the album
definitely
comes
listen.
out.
Trust me, that day we're gonna be having a little listening up here for
Come
it and everything.
on.
Because as you know, we are big fans. Jasmine will tell you,
Yes.
I'm like, I have to go out of town today. I was like, no, we got to make sure we're here because I never get to have a real sit down with you.
Yeah, that's
And we've been
all
wanting
these
to do
years.
that forever. But the timing is great.
That's right. There's
you know?
never a better
And
time
you got
than now.
Buju on the album. You said that's one of your mom's favorite artists, right?
She was listening to him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I first heard him. And I couldn't forget his voice. It was always like on a good Sunday or something when she's cleaning, like when the vibes are good, energy is great around the house. And so I'm so glad. And it was really cool for me to play it for her too. Like I didn't tell her that he was on the song. I just played it. And when his voice came on, she was like, I was like, yeah, Mom. Yeah, it was really, really awesome. We got to go to Jamaica to film the video. Just good times. I'm trying to go back real quick. You guys want to go?
Listen, Jamaica,
Can we
one
go?
of my favorite places. Let
Come
me know. We'll
on.
be there. Let's have a little album listening or something or a release
I am
party
so
in
down.
Jamaica.
Smoke, champagne, Jamaica, swimming, whatever. Food, jerk, everything.
Let's not forget that. the
Yeah,
most important part.
the most important.
Honestly, we can plan it.
Literally,
I got some-
December.
yeah.
What's it?
Okay. Let me put it on the calendar now. Can you put my days in? So-
Yeah. Come on, Dan.
But honestly, thank you so much for coming to sit with us. I know we're
Thank
going to do more
you.
of this. Congratulations,
Please.
as you know, on the tour,
Yes,
selling out
thank
immediately
you.
on an
Thank
amazing
you so
album. From what
much.
we've heard so far, there's
gotta
3
come.
singles. I am.
Okay.
Trust me, I am.
Okay, amazing. Okay, you
Listen.
coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the 3 singles so far have all been bangers that are out right now.
Thank you.
So congratulations on your whole entire journey. I've been watching you for over 10 years now,
Yes,
as
thank
you
you
know.
so
So I'm
much.
definitely happy for you. And anything I could ever do, I'm there. You know that.
Oh, I appreciate you so much. I just want to give you flowers right now. I wish I had some. But thank you so much for supporting me all this time. It just means the world. It actually gave me a lot of glimmers of hope. You were always mentioning my name. You're like, but Victoria Monét, when you have interviews with Tip and everything. So thank you.
Yay, we
Thank
had
you.
some good
Appreciate you.
Yes.
Yes.
I actually hosted her first listening party. In
Show
New
did.
York. We gotta run that
Yes.
back. Okay?
Yes.
Let's
Literally
do it.
history.
All right, it is Way Up with Angela Yee, Victoria Monét. Thank you so much. Y'all know August 25th?
Yep.
Jaguar 2.